This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. I hope everyone is doing well tonight. And I hope this broadcast finds you well. I hope I'm coming through nice and clear. I am once again simulcasting on Rumble and Utizzle. And, hey, how about give me a thumbs up before you forget? But anyway, what does my thumbnail mean? The end is near. Well, we're going to talk about that and put your guesses as to what end is near. The end of what? There's many things coming to an end. But anyway, a lot of things to report on, discuss, talk about, chit-chat. But what do? I play videos while people are coming in so they have enough time to make a cup of coffee or get a cold brouhaha or an adult libation or anything that is their want. And then we're going to do what? We're going to be like butter and get on a roll.
Yeah, we did it, America. Yeah, we did it. Freedom of speech. Right on, right on. Yeah, God bless America. Yeah, power to the people. Yeah, 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 yeah.
But if you respect the process, if you keep showing up, if you stay patient, stay focused, stay hungry, you'll win. And you'll look back one day and thank yourself for not quitting when it got tough, for pushing when it hurt, for believing when no one else did. No one said this would be fair or fast, but it will be worth it.
On the orders of the President of the United States, U.S. Central Command commenced Operation Epic Fury.
I'm gonna shoot you right down.
This regime will soon learn that no one should challenge the strength and might of the United States Armed Forces.
He reminded the world, as he has time and time again, being an American means something unbreakable. If you kill Americans, if you threaten Americans anywhere on earth, we will hunt you down without apology and without hesitation, and we will kill you. We didn't start this war, but under President Trump, we are finishing it. Their war on Americans has become our retribution against their
Iran is run by lunatics, religious fanatic lunatics. They have an ambition to have nuclear weapons. They intend to develop those nuclear weapons behind a program of missiles and drones and terrorism that the world will not be able to touch them for fear of those things. This is the weakest they've ever been. Now is the time to go after them. The president made the decision to go after them, take away their missiles, take away their navy, take away their drones, take away their ability to make those things so that they can never have a nuclear weapon.
Finally, to the great proud people of Iran, I say tonight that the hour of your freedom is at hand. When we are finished, take over your government. It will be yours to take. This will be probably your only chance for generations.
Boom, boom, boom.
Storm zone.
Yes, sir.
I'm wondering what storm you're talking about.
They have unsuccessfully tried to take down the wrong person.
He's absolutely going to come back with full vengeance the next time around.
Now think about what 4 years of a retribution presidency might look like. Our Constitution really does give the president tremendous power to destroy. This will be something we could never have imagined. Now the gloves are off. Payback time.
Some of Trump's close political allies told him they are working on figuring out the identities of the FBI and DOJ staff and forming lists.
I will direct a completely overhauled DOJ to investigate every radical DA and HE in America for their illegal, racist enforcement of the law. The deep state is destroying our nation, but the tables must turn and we will quickly destroy the deep state. We know where the bodies are buried. are a lot of people out there that have done some very, very evil things, very bad things, I would say treasonous things against our country. People that have done such harm to our country. I've been looking at them for a long time. He could order the investigation and prosecution of individuals who he perceives as enemies. Put them all in jail where they belong. You gotta get tough and smart, and you have to fight fire with fire. You can't allow this to go on. And I will be the one to clean it up. I am your retribution. We will take care of it. We will take care of it.
Hi, folks. Thank you for joining me tonight. It's nice to see you. Let me see who's coming to see me. And, I would put up my thumbnail and I said, well, a lot of people are going to click on this. Especially, I run the risk of a bunch of people that don't like what's going on, don't like Trump, no matter what you do, what you say. But, hey, let them click. I don't care. I figure by the time they get to the videos playing, if they're that bad off there, they're going to dip out anyway. Hi, Melinda. How you doing? Todd, how are you? Nice to see you. Holy cow. Sissy's here. Cole's here. Let's see. Who else is here? Sissy here. Cole. Let's see. Robin, nice to see you. All right. Elva's here. Wayne's here. Give me a thumbs up. Robin's here. Angela's here. Thank you for going by Buy Me a Coffee, Angela. I appreciate it. And I appreciate Mike and Bev going by Buy Me a Coffee. And Tammy this week. Mike and Bev went by twice. Angela, Tammy, Wayne, Mike and Bev. So I appreciate it all very much. I got to get my booms fired up. So I can set those off. Did I skip anybody? EDK's here. Randy's here. Awakened Trillium. Let's see. Where'd I leave off? All right. I try not to leave anybody out. And my lurkers. I want to say hi to my lurkers. Let me get my booms ready in case I got to do some booms tonight. I started off video with this guy called Afro Man celebrating. I kind of kept a loose eye, pow, on what was happening with Afro Man. I know a little bit about it. It's a story told pow, 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 told over and over and over again. Cops coming in, kicking open somebody's door and not finding anything. And if you get mad at them or give them any back talk, they when it's their fault, they want to slap you around or destroy you or worse. So anyway, it was interesting. And we're going to go over some of that. It reminds me, too, that one woman was 100 years old. Remember her? She was edited her own paper. And the cops came in and raided her house on some specious claim. And they have video of her with her walker, giving them hell. She's 100 years old. And she died shortly after that. And terrible, terrible abuses of authority. So anyway, I wonder how many times this guy Afro Man, when he was sitting in court, thought about Mar-a-Lago getting raided. But of course, he's played smart. You don't know who's on the jury. Don't bring it up because that might make things difficult. People don't think with their brains when it comes to TDS. It is a mental disorder, very serious. And hopefully they'll find a cure, or Darwin will take care of Darwin Wards will take care of them. I don't know. I had this in my studio for a while, a couple of days, at least 3 days. You all hear about this? Let me put it on the screen. election activist Stacey Abrams has been indicted. Now, this popped up on, I forgot even who put it up, in a Georgia court for, you guessed it, voter fraud. I have to goggle that and see if this is true. Because if it is, things have started. And how come nobody reported on it? Please let me know in the chats if you heard anything about this. Miss Abrams voted by mail, then showed up in person in a different district and voted again. Miss Abrams has homes in both districts. She faces up to a year in the joint and a $250,000 fine. Now, why isn't that all over the place if it's true? Okay, that's why I. Hi, Greg. How you doing? Hesitated before I put it up there, but we shall see. But if it's true, that means things are starting. Cardinal Comey, as they call him, is in the hot seat. Going to be in the hot seat because he got a subpoena, and of course, let me see if this is the right clip. The media, I keep forgetting this woman's name. Let me see if you all can tell me. Nicole? Yeah, there she is. Who's that woman? Anyway, you can see how seriously she takes it.
Some news that has broken since we've been on the air. Axios reporting that former director of the FBI, Jim Comey, has been subpoenaed in a wide-ranging grand conspiracy case against the ex-officials who investigated and some who would go on to prosecute Donald Trump. That's according to two sources with knowledge of that situation. The subpoena for Jim Comey was reportedly issued last week and relates to his alleged role in the drafting of a January 2017 intelligence community assessment concerning Russia's election interference that favored Donald Trump. This so-called grand conspiracy case is based in the Southern District of Florida.
Yeah, he can plead the fifth at a grand jury. Now they have some kind of crazy setups where they can grant you qualified immunity, and then you have to testify. It's a little complicated, more outside my bailiwick. I don't know if it's going to get to that. He is so confident in his big mouth that he thinks he can talk his way out of anything, but let me see if I got any guesses on what's the end. The end is near. I ain't gonna say nothing. Let me see what anybody guess. Miss Mendersue, how are you doing? Let's see. No guesses. No guesses. But, the lefties think the world is coming to an end. The world is coming to an end. Yeah, how you healing up, Miss Mendersue? That's one. I might write some of these guesses down. War in Iran. All right. Whoa. I got one of these pens. If you hit it wrong with your knuckle, it clicks shut. And my hands are pudgy and war in Iran. And decrepit. That's spelled I-R-A-N, not A-R-A-N. What the heck? So anyway. Hi, Elva. Greg said, you crizzle. You crizzle. I thought the first thing, everybody would say was, because I put in my thumbnail, gold coin approved. Gold coin approved. What's that all about? I'll put his ugly face up. Just so y'all remember what he looks like. Cardinal Comey, here he is. He thinks he can talk his way out of anything. Fed subpoena Comey in expanding probe of Trump-era investigations. We're in the Trump era, Newsmax. You haven't figured that out? The Trump era is going to be a long damn time. Like Comey's getting ready to find out. Because he FA'd, okay? Here. I tinted the coin gold. Did not do a good job of that, but anyway. Federal Arts Panel approves commemorative coin design with President Trump's image. There you go, Randy. That's the one I thought everybody would say first, the Fed. I'll write that down. War in Iran, Crizzle, the Fed. Any other guesses about the end being near? Make sure I didn't miss any guesses. Pappy Two Bears, how you doing? Vote yes on the SAVE Act. Yeah. Well, we'll talk about that too. They're going to pull some parliamentary tricks for that to come around. Looks like. You can't humiliate these creeps. Oh my gosh. Well, I put down also in my thumbnail that allies did an about face. Trump ain't playing around, and he's taking attack just what I thought he would. Hey, the best defense is a good offense, and he told him, gave him a couple of scenarios that might play out, where he takes Carg Island, and he'll be the one controlling the oil going through there. We will. Or he can slap them around, slap them silly, and then leave, and we get our 4% or 1%, whichever reports you believe, somewhere else, or from ourselves now that we're working towards energy independence. And those idiots can go up there and deal with those lunatics, okay? Those jihadist lunatics. And they got plenty of them imported into this country. We're going to go over that too. And we got a yeoman's work to do to get rid of them. Hi, Sparky. Ha ha. When it's too late, done. That's, that's one point. I had a picture of him where he's looking at his watch. I don't think I uploaded it because I was going to save it for another broadcast. But they're saying Powell is angling to stay on the board. Okay? You know, you've got so many entities working against Trump. From Boasberg, in the judiciary, along with other bad behavior judges, to disrupt his foreign policy, all the way up to the Supreme Court. They're interfering with his presidential powers as far as tariffs go, which is causing disruptions in the areas of world peace and our economic security. Here's Boasberg. Judge who, now I found this interesting. Wall Street Journal popped up on my feed. Judge who sided with Federal Reserve has been a thorn in Trump's side. And I said, well, that's interesting. It's not praising him. So I checked the article out a little bit. There he is, Count Boasberg. When James Boasberg became Chief Justice in 2023, he likened his elevated role in the nation's capital to being an undertaker. What? Courthouse colleagues were below him, he joked. but no one was really listening. Well, isn't that interesting? 3 years later, he emerged as one of the judiciary's most outspoken voices during outspoken. Well, Boasberg, you can't complain because you're not listening to the Supreme Court. And you're overreaching with your powers. You are exhibiting textbook bad behavior for a judge to be on the bench. You don't have legal reasoning in what you're doing. You're overstepping your powers. You're abusing your office, and you need to be gone. Tennessee, how you doing? Yeah, Lurch. See who else is guessing what end is near. No, I haven't got too many guesses. Where's everybody tonight? Warren Moran, you, Crizzle, and the Fed. We got 3 guesses about where the end is near for who. Well, while you all cogitate on that, I will. You know, he had the Prime Minister of Japan. Here he is. Not Prime Minister of Japan. Here's Jerome Powell. Too late, Jerome Powell. This is the Sky News even did a story about this. Fed shock. Jerome Powell could stay beyond the end of his term. He's running interference for the European principalities. The old world order, formerly known as the New World Order. So I'm going to write down on the list Jerome Powell. The end is near for him because he's making noises that he wants to stay on. And what do you think? Think Trump's going to let that happen? No, I don't believe he will. I believe he's going to get that tariff decision reconsidered by the Supreme Court and overturned. And I think he's going to get control over the Fed. Anyway, where was I at? Jiminy Crickets. Oh, the Prime Minister of Japan. Tennessee said end of the Fed. Yeah, I got that down. We were told something on I'm going to give a hint too for another one. On the 17th letter. And it has to do with things we've been talking about. So anyway, a great ally, Japan. And you know Trump had a close relationship with Shinzo Abe. And they took him out. But they have maintained a good relationship. I got some clips of Trump in the White House with the new prime minister. And I'll play them, and then we'll talk about what's being said. But anyway, they apparently signaled now, you need help in the Gulf, we'll help you. And, of course, Japan has been stunted in their military since the end of World War II. And for nothing else, their sense of national security, national pride, to be able to give the side eye to Kim Jong-il or Un or whatever his name is, they would like to do a little muscle flexing in the military department. They haven't done in 80 years, you know. And after that signal from Japan, and then you get Trump saying what their choices are going to boil down to, namely, either you're going to fight your own battles or I'll be running that Strait of Hormuz. You deal with me or you can deal with Iran all by yourself. If you don't want to help and be a part of this, and they've all done it not all of them, but Britain, Italy, some other players are coming. Yeah, we're gonna send people down. We're gonna help. But anyway, let's see what this clip says here.
The war is almost almost over. Why is the Pentagon going to ask Congress for an additional $200 billion?
Well, we're asking for a lot of reasons beyond even what we're talking about in Iran. This is a very volatile world, and the military equipment, the power of some of this weaponry is unthinkable. You don't even want to know about it. Oh, you could end this thing in 2 seconds if you wanted to, but we are being very judicious.
Trump's sending a not so subtle signal. We could end this thing in a couple of seconds if we wanted to. And he's talking about the $200 billion Hegseth announced that the Department of Defense would be asking for the military budget. And of course, the lefties have to jump in and say, oh, I thought this war with Iran was only going to be a couple of weeks, and now it's going to cost us $200 billion. But he was very clear, and Trump even reiterated it just now. It's for this and many other things. It's a dangerous world, damn it. And we got to keep up. We got to keep up. Remember, that's about 50% of that was given away in Afghanistan along with American lives. For what? For what? To split, to leave. I got a couple of clips from Hegseth I'll play in a minute. But, you know, we're starting to see things come together about this coordinated messaging is what I maintain, is purposeful coordinated messaging to vilify Israel. Okay. We'll talk about that some more. I warned about that. I said, isn't that rather Hitlerian in your thinking? Not your, of course, my chats, but anyway, where's that one clip where she's standing at a podium and she said, oh, let me find it. She's got a translator. Let me find it. Here, this is it right here. Here we go. You think she's in danger? I saw that in the chats. I hope not. She's very popular. The very reserved Japanese people might blow a cork over that.
So tonight, I would like to start off by extending my sincere congratulations on 2 important anniversaries.
一つ目は、明日に控えるドナルドのご子息のバロンさんのお誕生日です。立派でイケメンに成長されていると伺っております。
The first one is a birthday celebration. Donald, tomorrow is the birthday of your son, Mr. Baron Trump. And I know he has grown up so much into a very tall, good-looking gentleman.
間違いなくご両親に似たんだと思います。
As I see you, Donald, it is very clear where he got it. Of course, from his parents, there's no doubt about it.
ぜひ私からのハッピーバースデーをお伝えいただけたら嬉しいです。
So, Donald, if I may ask you, please convey my sincere happy birthday wishes to him.
I guess she's talking about Barron. I thought she was talking about Trump being a good-looking man, but no, she's talking about Barron. Hey, Roland, how you doing? Max here. How you doing? I saw somebody say hi to Mark. Mark's here. Yeah, I don't see any more guesses. The end is near. We got war in Iran, you Crizzle, the Fed, and I put Jerome Powell. Dan, how you doing? And all my lurkers. So, anyway, let's see. We got a couple of more clips. Oh, and of course, that one clip. Okay, I think this is it. That's caused a little bit of a stir. You know, the liberals, they will find anything to try to smear Trump, saying he's uncultured or rude or whatever. Let me see which clip this is.
Let me pick a beautiful person from Japan. A question for the Prime Minister. Go ahead. Yeah, sure. Oh, he doesn't believe he's beautiful. Oh. He's sounding shy. Go ahead, please.
Of course, now Japan and US are very good friends, but one question, why didn't you tell US allies in Europe and Asia like Japan about the war before attacking Iran? So we are very confused about we Japanese citizens.
Well, one thing, you don't want to signal too much. You know, when we go in, we went in very hard, and we didn't tell anybody about it because we wanted surprise. Who knows better about surprise than Japan? Okay, why didn't you tell me about Pearl Harbor? Okay, right? You know, he's asking me. Now you believe in surprise, I think much more so than us, and we had to surprise him, and we did. And because of that surprise, we knocked out, the first 2 days, we probably knocked out 50% of what and much more than we anticipated doing. So if I go and tell everybody about it, there's no longer a surprise.
Yeah, he brought up Pearl Harbor. Yeah, you're going to tell me about surprises. What about Pearl Harbor? But of course, you know, common sense. Why would I broadcast action like that to anybody? We couldn't even trust what's in our administration, much less call in other countries. Yeah, I read Wayne's quote. What did he say? I'll say the Fed. Okay, we got that already. The end of fiat currency, because he said gold standard. And the end of I put down OWO, Old World Order, formerly known as the New World Order. So we got 6 things here. War in Iran, Ukrizzle, the Fed, Jerome Powell. People say, well, we already got the Fed down. No, Jerome Powell is a separate entity, okay? As in probably a puppet. The end of fiat currency and the end of the OWO, Old World Order. We're going to get that to be a hashtag instead of NWO. Bill, how you doing? Benjamin's here. Let's see. I don't think I missed anything. So, yeah, he brought up Pearl Harbor. Very appropriate. And he did it, you know, hey. He brought up to King Charles about burning down the White House during the War of 1812. So why not bring up Pearl Harbor? And the Allies need to be reminded, okay, how we got drug into their mess and how many casualties we've had over the years. Greg said monarchy. Wait. 2 things. All right, put down to the end of the British monarchy or all monarchies. You never get rid of all monarchies. The monarchy and of the City of London. How can you end the City of London, Greg? I can't write that down. I think I know what you're trying to say, but you'll have to get it right. Yeah. The City of London is an example of something. I was going to use Steve Miller as a thumbnail because, man, they have been screwing us. What Trump is showing the people, every way, I've said it before, any way they could screw us, they would do it. Look at any program. You look at NATO. You look at the UN. You look at Medicaid. You look at food stamps. You look at your tax structures. And they think about how to screw you more and more and more every day for decades and decades and decades for a century of scheming and plotting on how to make taxes confiscatory so you own nothing and be happy. But here you go. Here's Stephen Miller talking about Medicaid.
But what we found since President Trump came into office is that the Democrats have set up a system to funnel hundreds of billions and ultimately trillions of dollars to migrants that are in our country, oftentimes from places like Somalia. So as an example, ICE recently asked a group of illegal immigrants that were in detention whether or not they were receiving Medicaid. Half of them raised their hands and volunteered that they were on Medicaid, just volunteered that. These aren't the ones who are hiding it, right? They also asked illegal aliens how they paid their medical bills, and they said that if they don't have Medicaid, they go to hospitals, they get free care there, and they bill it to the taxpayers. So they aren't paying for any of their own health care in this country. It's just one example. And we've seen this over and over and over again. So under President Trump's leadership, and then of course with JD and the head of the FTC, Andrew Ferguson, we're going to see the first ever effort in American history to reclaim the ultimately trillions of dollars that were stolen from taxpayers.
Half of them raised their hands. They were all put on a government program by a bunch of crooked bureaucrats who don't have your good in mind, who could give a damn about American citizens. IRS, I see that. Okay, it's enough. Wow, we're coming up with a lot of stuff. And city-states, I believe, is what everybody's shooting for about London. The end of city-states like London, the Vatican, Washington, D.C., these state entities separate, their own little internal governments. Let's see. Who did I miss anybody? I don't believe I did. But anyway, let's see. And of course, as I've said, how many times I said it, self-governance. Okay, it's a responsibility. It's a duty to govern yourself. We're the only nation in thousands of years who have created a form of self-governance, and we were asleep at the switch. And here's a good example. Oregon State Senator Kazi Jama. What's he babbling about? Born in Somalia. Okay? Now the American citizens are asleep at the switch. They're putting some character from Somalia as a senator in their state. And then they wonder why everything going to hell in a handbag.
Let me say to the federal agencies and the ICE, this is Oregon. We do not need you. You're not welcome. And you need to get the hell out of our community.
Telling ICE agents they're not welcome, you need to get the hell out. What did I say about stripping people of their citizenship? They've been naturalized. Okay, you don't sit there and incite public hostility against federal agents doing their jobs. Okay, and that it should be enough to have your citizenship stripped and for you to be sent right the hell back to Somalia along with Ilhan Omar. We knew 5 years ago her father was wanted for doing mass executions, participating in their country. And we knew about marrying her brother. So this stuff is out of hand, and these people have got a lot of damn nerve, and we got to stand our ground. We got to stand up and kick them the hell out of the country. Speaking of inciting public hostility, And I mentioned before that Judge Robert Jackson, who was the prosecutor during the Nuremberg trials, Hermann Goring, that's one of the things he was charged with and convicted of, along with one of the other defendants that, what was his name? I'd have to, he's not talked about very much. He was in charge of, he was right underneath Himmler as far as the labor camps. But anyway, incitement of public hostility. And who am I talking about? I'm talking about what they're doing with Nick Shirley. Nick Shirley, he posted this. Gavin Newsom's office. This is from Gavin Newsom's office. Governor Newsom's press office. Nick Shirley right now. Hey, can I see your kids? What are they painting him out? Daycare behind him. And Nick Shirley said, you do realize I'm trying to help America eliminate fraud and waste, right? No need to try and make me look like the bad guy for exposing fraud. People are over it. Start working for the people and not against them. Remember, this kid's 23 years old, and he's doing more. More than any of these damn bureaucrats and so-called powerful senators. I have very little respect for any of them, a very few. Nick Shirley said, if a politician gets mad about fraud being exposed, they aren't working for you, they're working against you. That's all you need to know about them. They're inciting public hostility against him and making him a target, doxing him. Here's another one. Whoever this idiot is, Born? What is that, a play on... Is Nick Shirley really in Davis tonight? Beware, Nick Shirley was spotted at a local hotel. He's going around pretending he found fraud. If you see him, run him out of town. Born. Nick Shirley, people trying to dox me in real time, expose fraud, and I have to, and have your life threatened 24/7. Run him out of town for what? Exposing fraud? This is what happens when leftists paint you as a villain for doing something good for the country. Fraudsters always complain the loudest. He should sue them for inciting public hostility. Then he posted this. Disgusting act by them. He's talking about Newsom's office putting out that official post by Newsom's office. Let's see. Disgusting act by them to do this. The more I think about it, really it's just vile and disgusting. A small percentage of their base will see this and then think I'm, quote, evil, and will eventually want to KILL me because of propaganda created from the governor of California's office. Then he posted this. Might want to put this on your meta page. When exposing crime is treated as committing a crime, you are being ruled by criminals. Edward Snowden, of all things, is he a good guy or a bad guy? Will he have a ticker tape parade or handcuffs? We shall see. Remember that from the 17th letter? And then he posted this. Anti-Fraud Taxpayer Club. So you can get a hoodie that says anti-fraud taxpayer. Yeah, pray for his safety. Yeah. They all getting a kick out of what happened to Charlie Kirk. They're weirdos. They're sickos. Remember that video I posted of Lizard Head? What's his name? Oh, what's his name? I just played that video of him just to make me sick before it came on screen. What's his name? James Carville. Showing everybody what kind of a lunatic he is. Well, make sure my mic is on. Yeah, it's on. Okay. So anyway, let me see. Here's something Trump put up. Israel, out of anger for what has taken place in the Middle East. Oh, this really caused uproar. Now, mind you, Iran has been bombing oil facilities and hotels and civilian targets all over Hell's Half Acre. But anyway, Israel bombed a pretty important gas depot in Iran. And Trump put out, they violently lashed out on a major facility known as South Pars gas field in Iran. A relatively small section of the whole has been hit. The United States knew nothing about this particular attack, and the country of Qatar in no way, shape, or form involved with it, nor did it have any idea that it was going to happen. Unfortunately, Iran did not know this or any of the pertinent facts pertaining to the South Pars attack, and unjustifiably and unfairly attacked a portion of Qatar's LNG gas facility. No more attacks will be made by Israel pertaining to this extremely important and valuable South Pars field unless Iran unwisely decides to attack a very innocent, in this case, Qatar, in which instance the United States of America, with or without the help or consent of Israel, will massively blow up the entirety of the South Pars gas field. Best defense is a good offense. At an amount of strength and power that Iran has never seen or witnessed before. I do not want to authorize this level of violence and destruction because of the long-term implications that it will have on the future of Iran. But if Qatar's LNG is again attacked, I will not hesitate to do so. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Mustard Seed, how you doing? So here's some video of some reporters with Russian television, Russian news. And it was a close call. And now this guy is decidedly, if you listen to his voice, not a Ruski, but it is Ruski news. And now Israel's saying we warned them specifically that we were going to strike, and they didn't get out of the way. What do you want us to do about it? But there's injuries, but they're minor, they say.
Further rocket attacks were reported against Nahariya and admitted. Fucking hell. Fuck. Where?
Yeah, he knew about a second and a half before it struck that it was coming. And he is damn lucky. Big time lucky. Here's a video when it's got the green unclassified on top from our Department of Defense. And these are radar installations. Let me see what all they blow up here. Yeah, quite a collection of things. Now, today was supposed to be the most intense bombing of the campaign. They claim that a F-35 got shot down. Where is the... I want to find the report on that. I have a short video of it. Let me see. No, that's not it. Wait a minute. Let's see. Is this it? No, this is... Oh, I'll show the F-35 in a minute. This is Joe Kent. Leaky Joe. A former head of counterterrorism center in the U.S. National Intelligence Director's Office who resigned due to his disagreement with military operation against the Islamic Republic went on air. Okay, I'm going to play the video of him. And they are doing their report right there. You see what he's saying. I'll read it in a minute. Let me get the interview. I think it's a couple of clips of him. Where are you at, Leaky Joe? Here he is. You see what he's discussing there. He actively opposed the start of the war, directly told Trump, but then was eliminated. That's not the story. The story was he was on the chopping block and he found out and he quit. He was being investigated prior. I think I have a news blurb about that. And he was forbidden to ask questions about or continue his investigation. He's talking about Charlie Kirk. So he goes on Tucker. Who's he going to go on next? Candace Owens? To get into this conspiracy business about Charlie Kirk? Erica Kirk? I'll go ahead and play it. What do you think? If this guy divulges anything classified, he's harming the overall mission. No doubt about it. He's harming the administration in the eyes of the public. And he's given the enemy fodder and cover for the crap he's talking about. He should, personally, I think somebody should have walked on both elbows, picked him up, arrested him right there, picked him up out of his chair, take him out of that office and throw him in the brig.
And then, Charlie Kirk is killed publicly in a very horrific way. And we're not really even allowed to look into that at all. And Charlie Kirk was one of President Trump's closest advisors. And he also advocated heavily against a war with Iran. He was in the Oval Office in the lead up to the 12-day war. I wasn't particularly close with Charlie. He was very gracious to me when I was running for Congress, very, very supportive. So we knew each other. And the last time I saw Charlie Kirk on this earth was in June in the West Wing, in the stairway. And I said hi to him, and he looked me in the eye, and he said very loudly, and it's a small, you've been in the West Wing, it's small, it's a tight space. And he said, Joe, stop us from getting into a war with Iran. Very loudly.
He was single-minded.
And he walked off, and he went, I believe, into the Oval. So when one of President Trump's closest advisors, who is vocally advocating for us to not go to war with Iran and for us to rethink at least our relationship with the Israelis, and then he's suddenly publicly assassinated, and we're not allowed to ask any questions about that, it's a data point. It's a data point that we need to look into.
What do you mean when you say we're not allowed to ask any questions about that?
We've been told that this individual, Robinson, is a lone gunman, and maybe he is. But the investigation that I was a part of, the National Counterterrorism Center was a part of, we were stopped from continuing to investigate. And the FBI will say that they stopped that because they wanted to turn everything over to the Utah state authorities. Everything's going to trial. It's very, very sensitive. But there was still a lot for us to look into that I can't really get into. But there was still linkage for us to investigate that we needed to run down. And I'm not making any conclusions. I'm not saying
no, I don't think you are.
Because of this happened. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying there's unanswered questions. We know the pressure because of the text messages that have been made public that Charlie was under a lot of pressure from a lot of pro-Israel donors. And again, we know Charlie was advocating to President Trump against this war with Iran.
So he's saying a lot there. He's saying a lot there, and he's harming our foreign policy. Blaming Israel. Okay. Hey, I'll use the term inciting public hostility against Israel. And Charlie Kirk can't speak for himself. He's gone. He's gone. Most importantly, he stated Tehran was not on the verge of obtaining nuclear weapons either at the time of the start of the U.S. military Operation Epic Fury or before the U.S. military struck nuclear facilities in June 2025. He said more than that. He said somebody put out a fatwa against creating nuclear weapons. I'll pull that one up and we'll go over it when I get to it. It's somewhere in the mix here. But anyway, the end of infiltrators, I don't know. Hi, Bill. How you doing? Mr. Steve, how you doing? Yeah, you voted for Trump 3 times. That's good. Nice to meet you. You know, speaking of that, remember that video I played with the guy that looked like he was 2 ham sandwiches away from a heart attack? And I said, I better not say too much because I get in trouble for making fun of people's looks. Well, and the woman said, I voted for Trump 3 times. I guess that makes me a stupid head. And I said, do you all think this is real? Do you think, or she's a plant? Because it was MSDNC. Well, I think she was a plant. My opinion. Because they all practice the same narrative. They all use the same strategy, right? Look here. Is this the right one? Lawless said, I supported Trump in 2016. I supported Trump in 2020. I supported Trump in 2024. Less than a year into his second term, I took a step back, reflected, and began questioning his leadership and character. No, I don't wish Kamala was in office. No, I don't support the Democratic Party, blah, blah, blah. And then he said, readers added context. This user previously posted that they did not vote for Trump nor support Trump. And also, one of the Krastenstein brothers reportedly had a second account on Twitter and was putting out the same garbage, pretending like they were someone who voted for Trump 3 times in a row, but they just can't take this war in Iran and they're not supporting Trump anymore. And he accidentally posted it on his main account and proved that he was putting out fake tweets on a ghost account. So there, what I just read to you, and that video where the guy looked like he had more chins than a Chinese phone book. The back of his neck looked like a pack of hot dogs. He was sweating gravy when he's talking to a lady. His belt size is E. Have you ever heard somebody have a belt size of E? That stands for equator. So anyway, I decided to make fun of him because of his looks and his chicanery. But anyway, yep, fraud, deceit, lies. Here, Sonia Shaw put up huge scandal in California schools. State audit exposes Valverde Unified issuing real diplomas to kids in China who never set foot here. Wealthy Chinese families buying spots at top U.S. universities, all expense paid trips for officials. This is betrayal. Well, you know, her name, Sonia Shaw. Sonia, I want to tell you something. A lot of them might have been born in America. Parents here on a tourist visa, some kind of temporary visa. They have a child, get citizenship papers, and then go back to China and raise a kid in a communist country. They estimate about 1 million of them. 1 million. Trump knows about it. Trump's mentioned it. That's going to come to a head. Now, this business of the colleges, not just California schools, but Harvard, Yale. Hey, Barack Hussein Obama was here on a foreign exchange program. American taxpayers paid for his education, and he listed himself as an exchange student, I believe from Indonesia. They're fraudsters, all of them. And it's amazing this country survived as long as it has. Look here. Let me find it. I want to show you something. Whoa. A nation we're in active combat with, who has been attacking Americans, undermining Americans, causing terror all around the world. Iranian leaders, kids at U.S. colleges. Look at there. Who do you think's paying for that? Even if they're paying for themselves. Why do we need radical, mad dog leaders having their progeny come on our soil? I remember it was an outrage when Fidel Castro gave a speech at Harvard and they were fawning over Fidel Castro. I don't know if you can read that or let me expand it. Get a screenshot of it. Here's the top row. Fatima, I can't pronounce all that crap. Emory University, Union College, Chicago School of Professional Psychology, George Washington University, University of Illinois, Urbana, University of Massachusetts. I bet there's more than that. This is just internet sleuthing. Internet sleuthing. And what does that regime do? Look here. 19 years old, young man. What happened? What happened yesterday? Ian Miles Chong put this up. The Iranian regime executed 19-year-old Salem Mohammadi this morning for participating in January protests. Awful. Just awful. He's an athlete. What was he, a soccer player? 19 years old. That's who all the lunatic left is standing up for. Whoa, what did I just, oh, daggone it. I did something. I have to go out of my studio for a minute. Oh my. Pardon me, I accidentally did something. Whoa. Am I still, are you still with me? I hope I didn't blink myself off the screen. Oh, I got to play that one of Chunk Uger, yeah. Hopefully I didn't, whoa, wait a minute. Bear with me, folks. I'm getting a video of Chunk Uger, who supposedly had a fit about something. Let me see. I get that right? Let's see. All right. I'm going to play it. I wasn't going to, but I'm going to go ahead and play it. I didn't get to hear this, so we'll get to hear this all at the same time. Y'all remember Chunk Uger? He is Hassan Piker's uncle. He's from Qatar. They started their channel, the Young Turks. I call them the middle-aged Turks now. And he's the one that was talking about fornicating with farm animals. All right, good. I got 5x5s. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate that. I had to go off screen to get this video. So anyway, apparently he's having a fit over something. He's on Piers Morgan's show. And I don't know if he's having a fit at the Democrat Party. Because I go ahead and say it. That is one of the things that I was going to say, the end is near. We were told on the 17th letter, were we not, that once we got voter ID, it would be the end of the Democrat Party? Give me a thumbs up if you remember that. And I'm writing it down on our ever-growing list of what is going to end. Dem Party. That it would be the end of the Democrat Party. Miss Menderson remembers. I'll pull that CUE post up to prove it to you. But anyway, I don't have to prove it to Miss Menderson, do I? Ha ha ha. She remembers. Tammy remembers. So, here we go. What's wrong with Chunk? He's mad about something.
Solution to this, but first let me wade through all the lies that have been said. So if you notice, before the war, people like Ben Ferguson were saying, oh, we're not necessarily going to attack. Donald Trump's a peace president. He's not going to attack. He's not going to put in ground troops. That's not what I said ever. Yeah.
I never said it. Go find a video. Go look at YouTube. Listen to any one of my shows. I never said that. So not one damn time.
Piers, this is why I shout on your program, because every time I start talking, some Israel first son of a bitch comes in and starts talking over me. Hey, you made America all your first, Israeli
right
talking
there,
points
American
already.
Flag, bro.
Be
Here's
quiet.
Right
My ass.
Yeah.
Okay,
Cenk,
see,
you've actually done, Cenk,
so
for
then
50
here's
minutes,
the other lie.
Cenk, for 50 minutes, you've managed to stay relatively calm. Don't blow it now.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's what Israel First does. They just jabber. Anyway, so here we go. So then Ben said, and all the Israel First clowns said, oh, we're doing this for the Iranian protesters. And once we start bombing them and murdering them, they're going to love us. And now he's saying, well, of course the protesters can't come out in the streets. We're bombing them. We're bombing them.
Pretty impressive.
That's what we said. All right.
Yeah,
all right, here we go. Will you shut the fuck up? Will you shut up?
If you're putting words in my mouth that I never said,
Israeli
I will
talking
never
points.
be quiet. I'll never be quiet when you put lies into my mouth of things I never said.
I know, that's why we have to shout on this show, because these assholes won't shut the fuck up.
Like,
all right,
I never
just to be
put words in
clear,
your mouth.
just to be clear,
I'm sorry about the language. I just had to interrupt there. I didn't know he was going to be going this bad on a Piers Morgan show. He's being hostile. Okay, he's being menacing. And he is focusing on blaming Israel for everything.
the things you've
I
never
think
said. I never
there
do
are
that to you.
actually less chances of Ben Ferguson shutting the fuck up than there are of the Bob Pope analogy I gave earlier. So why don't we just assume both of you can be equally garrulous? Cenk, finish your point.
No, I haven't interrupted him once. Okay, so look, guys, we're ignoring the 800-pound gorilla in the room. For example, if somebody was to come in here and they were going to listen to this discussion or debate, but we told them ahead of time, hey, these guys are all clean and honest, then they'd listen to it and try to figure out what's happening. If we told them ahead of time, someone gave them $100 million to all say the same thing, we'd go, well, then we're a little bit more skeptical, to say the least. So that is what's happening with our politicians. Israel has given Congress $100 million. They've given Donald Trump $337 million. So this is all a fake conversation.
But these are tiny amounts
of
money.
American interest in it.
Look, they spent billions on day one
now
of the war.
you're cutting me off, Piers.
These are tiny amounts of money you're talking about.
You're making up crap.
Tiny amounts of money.
Yeah.
Piers, are you mental?
Do you know how much got spent? Do you know how much got spent on day one of the war?
$337 million that the Adelsons have given to Donald Trump because he is corrupt and easily purchasable. The Adelsons are corrupt and Israelis. The Israeli Adelsons gave Jonathan Pollard a trip on their private jet back to Israel and celebrated him like a hero because they love people betraying America for Israel.
But you don't
so
think
America has no interest. I can prove it. So tell me if we should put American troops or Israeli troops in. Okay, why are we putting our guys in? Ben Ferguson, that traitor, said...
Well, everybody can prove that Qatar paid for your channel, okay? And your nephews, okay? And he's supposed to be a U.S. citizen. Like I said, get rid of all of them.
Said that it was no big deal that 13 Americans died. It's a huge deal.
Never said that.
13 Americans died. Why do you send your goddamn Israeli friends into a war?
Take the blood pressure meds, bro.
They started it.
Never said by me. Never said by me.
You know what?
So much shit.
Cenk,
I'm never going to let anyone else on this program talk because the minute I start talking, they start interrupting and go, oh, Israel's the greatest. Israel's the greatest.
Okay.
They bribed all of our politicians.
Today.
It is exceedingly clear.
Okay.
So stop working for Israel, you corrupt sons of bitches.
Okay.
Work for America. Here's your solution. And it's super simple. We get the fuck out of there.
Okay.
We have zero interest in there. None. So let Israel,
and now you know why Trump had to do what he had to do. He's got to deal with people like
put in
this.
the ground troops. You put in the ground troops. Ben Ferguson, answer this question. Should we be sending Israeli ground troops or American ground troops?
I think there's no major ground troop movements because the president's made it clear we're not invading the country. If you listen to what he said, you would already know that, not have to ask that
If we put in ground troops, now that's another lie he'll come back and say,
I
always said we were going to put in ground troops.
You know what? Okay, look, I'm going to call an end to this. Cenk,
American or Israeli?
The truth is...
American or Israeli?
All right, Cenk.
Which ground troops?
Cenk, calm down. The truth
is, Mr. Fat Body, that we'll send in Marines and we'll take Karg Island, okay? And we'll be running European oil, all right? European oil. That'll be what we take control of. And who are you to talk about America, American values? Who are you? Mr. Turk, young Turk, and your Qatari money. Here you are, inciting public hostility. How much money did you get to start your channel? How much money do you get to toe a line for the Muslim Brotherhood? You know, people... I showed you that character that from Somalia telling ICE to get the hell out. Well, I got another one for you to look at. Wait a minute, where is it? Christina Guaya. Let me see if I still got it in here. Here it is. Well, no, that's not it. Well, she reminded us of a situation here. What's the situation? Who's this guy? Who's this guy running his jaws up top? And there's a guy standing below him, an American citizen. What happened? I'll give you part of the story. You can go to Christina Guayas to get the details. But remember this, folks. A Muslim who attacked a synagogue in Michigan was granted citizenship by the Obama administration. DHS has confirmed that Ayman Mohammed Gaza, a Lebanese-born immigrant, arrived in the U.S. in 2011 and was granted citizenship in 2016. 4 years, 48 months, he became an American. He drove his vehicle into the Temple Israel in West Bloomfield Township near Detroit in what authorities say was a terrorist attack on the Jewish community. Security personnel shot and unalived, whatever his name is, as he was driving through a hallway, according to DHS records. He came to the country on May 20th, 2011 on an IR-1 immigrant visa granted because he married U.S. citizens. Now, here we go. Remember, when an American citizen opposed naming a street after pro-Hezbollah terrorist, the one I just talked about, or no, he's tied to the one I just talked about, sympathizer Osama Siblani, and he was verbally accosted by the Muslim mayor of Dearborn. That's who the guy is on top. The Muslim mayor of Dearborn. He told the citizen, "You do not belong in this city, Islamophobe. Get out. You are not welcome here." The same Dearborn where the vehicle used in an attack on the Michigan synagogue I just read to you about was registered. According to law enforcement sources, it's registered to a migrant from Lebanon, which is a Muslim-majority country. The migrant is a naturalized citizen who lives in Dearborn. Dearborn mayor, there he is, Abdullah Hamoud, yelled at a resident who didn't want the street named after a Muslim activist, heavily criticized for his pro-Hezbollah and pro-Hamas statements, both terrorist groups. He told the guy, "I will have a parade when we force you to move out." Told an American citizen that. And the one who drove into that Jewish temple is right there from West Bloomfield Township. That's where his vehicle was registered. So, yeah, everybody's going to be doing prayer at 5 in the morning with big loudspeakers. They're importing people who are committing terrorist acts, and you just got to sit there and take it. Here he is. Here's the one that drove into the mosque. "We'll run you out, Whitey." That's basically what he was saying. You know, they're tripping over their narratives. You need to marry one. What, a muzzy? Mr. Steve, how you doing? Hi, Debbie. How many Debbies I got? Mountains here. Yeah, Lloyd's of London. Trump's going to break their grip on insurance. Maybe I'll write that down too. The end of Lloyd's of London. The end is near. We got a lot of, it could be any of all the things we've enumerated here. The end of the war in Iran, the end of Hugh Crystal, the end of the Fed, the end of Jerome Powell, the end of fiat currency, the end of the old world order, the end of the monarchy, the end of the IRS, the end of city-states like the Vatican, Washington, D.C., and London, the end of the Democrat Party, and the end of Lloyd's of London. And since I'm at that, I'm going to write down the Bar Association. The Bar Association. They have got these corrupt attorneys that were waging lawfare against the President of the United States and cranking out judges with bad behavior, dual citizenship, working against the best interests of the United States of America, all from the Bar Association. So I added the Bar Association. Anything else? The end is near. How about this, folks? Remember her going to Trump's office and hiding her face with a yellow pad? Hochul pleads for wealthy New Yorkers to return from red states. Yeah, sure. Comeback bid. New York Governor Hochul says she wants wealthy people to visit Florida and see who you can bring back because our tax base has eroded. Hey, if they go to visit, they might not come back themselves. The Democrat governor also stated she needs individuals with a high net worth to support the generous social programs we have in our state. Oh, yeah. Yeah, come here so we can rip you off. I got 2 videos from her. Here's one. Here's one from a couple of years back on Fox News. I think this one she tells everybody to get the hell out.
And we're here to say that the era of Trump and Zeldin and Molinaro, just jump on a bus and head down to Florida where you belong, okay? Get out of town. Get out of town. Because you don't represent our values. You are not New Yorkers.
Now, this is her a couple of years later. Politico, what a rag. Here she is now. She just told everybody, you can't afford to get the hell out. Just go.
Now, there are some patriotic millionaires who stepped up. Okay, cut me the checks. I mean, just if you want to be supportive, but maybe the first step should be go down to Palm Beach and see who you can bring back home, because our tax base has been eroded. So I philosophically don't.
Wait, you just told everybody to get the hell out, didn't you? Didn't you? Oh, here's a good interaction here. Here's a good interaction. Let average Americans who haven't been keeping up, and to be fair, you know, I say they are sleep and switch and self-governance and all this. But hey, the system is created to keep them on the treadmill. And when they wake up, they got to run the treadmill. They go to bed, then they can wake up, they got to get on the treadmill. A hamster wheel, where they're so distracted, so concerned. And they want to be good citizens. But then you have this cabal that puts you in constant fear. Did I fill that out right on my tax form? Did I do something wrong where I could be destroyed, my family? Like Kamala Harris said, I can destroy somebody just with a signature. My power as a prosecutor. And they don't pay attention. It's because of people like this.
Do you believe that American tax dollars should be used to rehabilitate criminal and illegal aliens within our own borders? I believe it's in our own interest to rehabilitate anybody who commits a crime.
Including criminal and illegal aliens.
If it happens within our borders, it's to the benefit of all of us to rehabilitate them. Rehabilitation of those who are convicted of criminals is not for their own benefit. It's for the benefit of society.
How many criminal and illegal aliens should we rehabilitate?
Again, anyone who commits a crime and is convicted of a crime should be rehabilitated
there's no
for the
limit.
benefit of the entire
So an illegal alien
society.
comes into our country, murders or rapes somebody, we ought to rehabilitate them, is your view. And there's no limit to the number of illegal alien criminals we should rehabilitate. Is that your testimony?
I wasn't asked to testify about that.
See, that's called a jerk. That's called a do-gooder liberal jerk. You know, I got a video here I hadn't watched either. Let me see. This is a video. They said the family goes cuckoo. This is, they say, if memory serves me correct, this is a no-nonsense judge who sentenced somebody accordingly. And the family went cuckoo. So I haven't watched it yet. So if there's any wild language or anything like that, I mean, you know, that's all you see anyway. But anyway, we'll watch it together.
Mr. Fontenette, there was a time some years ago that there really wasn't even a question. State's attorneys were recommending youthful offenders, probation, let's give everybody an opportunity. And things have just changed in such an incredibly dangerous way with young people doing what I just saw you do on that screen. I cannot imagine the fear that that person had that was working in that store, that he now has just trying to go to work, make a living, and go home. And he has 3 people come in and not just grab a little quick something and run out, but terrorize him for quite some time. Pulling him around, yanking him around, putting guns in his face, all 3 of you. I also, in addition to the PSI, get jail incident reports. And you apparently like to fight and jump people, which is what's been happening in the jail. So it makes it very difficult for me to go, oh, this is somebody that's going to get out and behave, who can follow the rules, because you can't even follow the rules in jail. And the pre-sentence report shows that you're a high risk level, which tells me that after they've looked at everything, that you don't have, unfortunately, a good likelihood of being successful if I were to put you on probation. And Mr. Coleman's right. We're tired of it. And there's got to be something done. So in cause number 25, DCCR 1759, I'm going to find that you entered your plea of guilty freely and voluntarily. I'm going to find sufficient evidence to find you guilty. And at this time, I'm going to find you guilty of aggravated robbery. I'm going to sentence you to a term of 25 years in the institutional division.
Well, I guess I don't know if they blurted it out or what they did, but he got 25 years, lot less dramatic than I thought it would be. And in a way, I'm glad. Yeah, that's what happens when you terrorize somebody, and God knows what kind of record he had. Gosh, I'm watching time go by, and I've got so many different things to talk about. Let me see if I missed anything in the chats. Rehabilitation is not on his side. No, it's not. My mic on? Yeah. Okay, good. Just checking. 25 years. That's what he got, Steve. Let's see. I got a video here. Man, I want to go over this stuff. What's this one? Wait a minute. Let's see. Pete Hegseth. I didn't go over that yet. I got 2 videos of him. One, you got that knucklehead, Leaky Joe, talking about Iran is not and was not a threat. This is a short clip. Let's see what he's asking. I think this is where he's asking for the 200 billion or explaining the 200 billion.
And to borrow a page from Admiral Ernest King in World War II, we've decided to share the ocean with Iran. We've given them the bottom half. We've damaged or sunk over 120 of their Navy ships, with battle damage assessments pending for many more. See, oftentimes we have to wait a few days on battle damage assessment to get the real number. Their surface fleet is no longer a factor. Their submarines, they once had 11, are gone. Their military ports are crippled.
Yeah, that's where he's at. We're sharing the bottom half of the ocean with them. Now, this is, they say, is a clip where Jerry Dunleavy asks Pete Hegseth a substantive question about justification for the war in Iran. Now, I wanted to play this because juxtapose this with what Leaky Joe is running around saying with Tucker Carlson, trying to put the bad finger on Israel. Donald Trump got duped and all this kind of talk. So let's hear the reasonable question and the answer.
As part of the justification for the war against Iran, the White House has laid out in fairly comprehensive fashion that the Iranian regime's 47 years of terrorism aimed at the U.S., including pointing to the IRGC's provision of weapons and EFPs to help kill Americans in Iraq. The Pentagon in 2019 assessed Iran was responsible for the deaths of at least 603 service members in Iraq, but there hasn't been a similar accounting, public accounting by Iran's role helping the Taliban in Afghanistan. And that also hasn't been part of the White House's public argument. I was wondering if you could speak to Iran's role in helping the Taliban during the war in Afghanistan. And Chairman, as you and the Secretary eloquently spoke about, 13 U.S. service members have been killed so far during Operation Epic Fury. I was wondering what lessons have been learned from those deaths, both from Iranian strikes, from an aircraft refueling accident. How are those lessons being applied to the current conflict, and how are those lessons going to be applied to a potential conflict in Indo-PACOM?
Thank you.
Well, thank you for the question. And it's true. In a town that can have a very short memory, President Trump does not. He remembers what this Iranian regime was founded on, what their declaration has been from the beginning: death to America, death to Israel. They've stated that. They've intended to, in every way, try to accomplish that, killing Americans in any theater they can, embassies for quite a long time. In Iraq, that was the deadliest weapon, was the EFP, the explosively formed penetrator. I was there when that tactic and technique started to emerge, and the realization was it wasn't just jihadis putting together 155 rounds daisy-chained. It was an entire state, a country with its apparatus able to mold steel in a way that was specifically designed to penetrate American armor and kill Americans. This was not, maybe we send them a couple of thoughts about how to build a bomb. This was Iran specifically passing technology and wherewithal and personnel into Iraq to kill Americans specifically. I know the number is said to be 600. A lot of us think it's higher than that, given the amount of capability they brought in. So they have been at war with us, whether we acknowledge it or not, for 47 years. The same goes in Afghanistan. Name the Islamist enemy, whether they are Sunni or Shia, because this is a Shia regime, Sunni or Shia, and Iran's been willing to harbor them as long as that group is willing to try to kill Americans. So the enemy of their enemy has been their friend as well in the Islamist world. So Iran, whether it's Iraq, whether it's Afghanistan, whether it's around the world, has been targeting Americans. And what they wanted in this context, and what President Trump would not tolerate, is a regime of that nature being closer and closer to nuclear capabilities, a capability they would have said they would want to use, and we ought to believe what our enemies say they would do if they got the most dangerous weapon in the world. So it's been across every theater that Iran's been a threat to America, and sometimes we have to remind folks of that, but thank goodness we have a commander-in-chief who, on behalf of this country, has internalized that and said, hey, we're going to do something about it.
Jerry, I do want to talk about the lessons learned question because it's important to me. I won't share particular tactical lessons, and the KC-135 incident is under investigation. But I do want to talk about how I think about this and how we think about it. And this is something that I'm pretty passionate about. I believe the Joint Force has to be a very fast learning organization. Early, often, and always. And so in each case, both at the strategic, operational, and tactical level, we've charged the Joint Force to look at themselves and say, what was our plan? Well, first, did we have a plan, yes or no? The answer is always yes, because we plan for literally everything. Did we execute our plan, yes or no? If we did it work? If not, why not? If we didn't execute our plan but did something better, what's the lesson learned associated with that? And then how do we quickly capture those lessons after every loss or every engagement and quickly adopt those lessons and then share them across the entirety of the Joint Force? And inside the Joint Staff, we've tasked our J7 Directorate under the lead of Lieutenant General Lazewski, a United States Marine, to be extremely entrepreneurial in harvesting and capturing those lessons in a proactive and not reactive way. In fact, we've got teammates from the J7 who are now spread out across the CENTCOM theater, both here in the States and forward, to ensure that in every opportunity we do not miss a chance to grab that lesson and quickly accelerate it into the practice that we adopt inside the Joint Force, so that if there's a loss or if there's something that we can learn from, that we learn it not only in the CENTCOM AOR, but we adapt it across all of the combatant commands, not just Indo-PACOM. And it's across all of the warfighting functions. I've asked them to look rigorously, to check our egos at the door, to remember this is about what's right, not who's right, and to be clinical around the way we look at lessons learned, because we owe it to the force to do that. Thanks for that question.
Absolutely.
What's right and not who's right? Think about that, Leaky Joe. And Leaky Joe, did you know about that technology being sent from Iran about how to make bombs more effective and how to penetrate armor? I wonder how many tips and plans have been sent to possible sleeper cells in our country. Remember this? Who taught this guy about what they called Satan's brew to use in that bomb that he threw? This is another report from Christina Guay. Miss Wintersue put a bunch of booms in. I just put a link at 136 mark in the chat for Buy Me a Coffee. I think I forgot to put it in earlier. But anyway, I have a link for Buy Me a Coffee. It's in the chats now. 136 point if anybody wants to help support the channel. Well, I put up Christina Guay's report about this. What is going on with this bomb thrower? Well, somebody's taking action, and it ain't Leaky Joe. I want to thank Mike and Bev, Wayne, Tammy, and Angela for helping out with Buy Me a Coffee this week. I do appreciate it. Link in the chats. But let me see. I want to get the right page up, because you see the guy on the left in the middle. Who is that? Wait a minute. Who is that? I'll tell you who it is. Holy cow! I'm having trouble with my There we go. Let's get her report. Florida Congressman Randy Fine, that's the guy in the middle, on the left, suit and tie, says that Islamic threats are real and people should be afraid. Listen, Leaky Joe, you were the head of counterterrorism, said Iran wasn't a threat. Fine says, we need more Islamophobia, not less. Fear of Islam is rational. Fine's comments come after 2 terror attacks happened on Thursday. Mohammed Baylor Jalal, a Muslim who supported ISIS, and shouted Allahu Akbar during the attack that killed 1 and injured 2 on the campus of Old Dominion University. Like I say, you can go to Christina Guaya for the rest of the reports, but I got this up here about what Fine is doing. He responded to an anti-Israeli activist saying dogs are unclean and they should be outlawed in New York City. So here we go with the Muslims trying to tell people they can't have dogs, they can't have bacon, they got to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, whether you like it or not, and go to prayers in America. Plus, you got to dodge a bunch of bombs with the Satan's brew put inside of it. Where do you get that information, Leaky Joe? If they force us to choose, the choice is between dogs and Muslims is not a difficult one. Yeah, we'll take the dogs. He then introduced the legislation to protect puppies from Sharia. In December of last year, during a congressional hearing on West Bank policies, Fine said he doesn't care if people says he's Islamophobic, suggesting that mainstream Muslims enable extremism and must be confronted. He added that the true threats come from Palestinian militant groups. He has called on to designate all Palestinian organizations as terror entities. He pointed to Hamas's use of civilian shields and societal issues caused by inbreeding that exacerbate radicalism. So, I'm able to say these things to the best of my knowledge because it is being said by an American politician, high profile, and we have free speech, and I have the right to communicate what he has lawfully told the American people. You know, I started this off with that guy Afro Man. And, you know, I don't agree with his music. You know, I'm not into that kind of music, and then plus there's a lot of foul language. But I don't know about the guy. But I do know that he got sued by the police. And this is supposed to be a synopsis of what happened to this guy Afro Man. They say it's the best synopsis. So, okay, I'm going to learn a little. I hadn't read this whole thing. So we'll read it together. Cops raid Afro Man's house for BS reasons. Steal money, break his door, and F his house up. No criminality found whatsoever. No charges at all pressed on Afro Man. Afro Man spends the next 3 years making songs that make fun of all the officers involved by name, even using footage of the raid from his own CCTV cameras. Songs had titles like Randy Walters is a son of a bee and Lickum Low Lisa, accusing one of the officers of being a lesbian and sleeping with the other officers' wives. During the raid, one officer looked like he was about to eat some lemon pound cake sitting on Afro Man's counter. Afro Man made a whole album calling the officer fat. The cops got mad and filed a lawsuit for defamation. So they tore his house up. He said $400 was missing. They took money, according to him. And he didn't do anything wrong. Afro Man turns up in court in a whole American flag suit. Officers performatively mauled and cry while listening to the songs, really trying to oversell how badly the songs upset them. One officer was suing because Afro Man made a whole song about him saying he was effing the officer's wife. When the officer was asked if Afro Man was really effing his wife, he said, "I don't know." Nuking his own case and establishing there's a non-zero chance that Afro Man might actually be violating his wife. I'll just use the word violating. As his only witness for the trial, Afro Man brought a deputy's, I'm not read that, ex-effing wife. The jury ruled competently in favor of Afro Man. The entire thing has been a great win for free speech and absolutely effing hilarious. You know, years ago, Jerry Falwell sued Larry Flint, who was putting in a filthy magazine a picture of Jerry Falwell's mother, his actual mother, and saying that she was a prostitute, using vulgar language, describing terrible, disgusting acts about Jerry Falwell's mother. Jerry Falwell sued and spent hundreds of thousands of dollars and lost. They said that smut merchant had a right to make fun of Jerry Falwell's deceased mother. And anybody that knows about that case, these lawyers should be ashamed of themselves. They had no business going to court over this. Well, this guy's making money now, or not say he wasn't then before, but hardly anybody knew him. I mean, I guess people heard of him, but he wasn't a huge star. But I think even he said it was like a blessing. Here's a cop that said, well, he's defaming me because he says he's violating my wife. And the guy said, is he violating your wife? He said, I don't know. So how could you be defaming him?
Were called Officer Pound Cake by Mr. Foreman?
Multiple times.
You
We
were all-
received hundreds of pound cakes at work from different people.
Okay. And the context of that name comes from a music video that Mr. Foreman created, correct?
I don't know where he got it at, but you'd have to ask him that question.
The Adams County Sheriff kicked down my door. Then I heard the glass break.
You would admit that you with the glasses walking by a lemon pound cake on the counter?
Yes,
And that is security footage from the search at Mr. Foreman's residence?
I assume yes.
But there's no question that you during the search.
Yes.
There is question? There's
No, that was me, yes, absolutely.
The Adams County Sheriff kicked down my door. Then I heard the glass break. They got no kidnapping victims, just some young mountain. Mama's moving down here. It takes no eyes. It made the sheriff wanna put down his gun and cut him a slice. Lemon pound cake. He wanna put down his life. Lemon pound cake. Trending on TikTok. Lemon pound cake. He's a family guy. Lemon pound He's hungry and he's big as hell. He was sniffing for weed, then he smelled another smell. What was that? Mama's really down there. He made the sheriff wanna put down his gun and cut him a spine. Living pound cake, he wanna put down his spine. Living pound cake, trending up TikTok. Living pound cake, he's a family guy. Living pound cake, munchies because he got high. Living pound cake, pound cake. He sees my cake and my corno bag called boom boom. Something happened to his camera on the way to the evidence room. Mama's living pound cake.
Mama's lemon pound cake. I thought there was the one where he's going to say, I don't know if he's messing with my wife or not. I thought that was what it was, but we got to listen to Lemon Pound Cake. Now, Afro Man, don't you be hitting me with a copyright. Unless you send me a piece of pound cake. Mama's pound cake, for crying out loud. But anyway, if you want to see his reaction, well, I see, I got it here. Wait a minute. Let me pull it up. I played it at the beginning of the video. Once he won, oh, that's his face. See, I was going to use this on my thumbnail, maybe. I was thinking about putting James Carville's face up, but I didn't. I did the world a favor. But anyway, I played it at the beginning of the video. Do I still got it in the studio? I might not. Well, anyway, I thought it was appropriate because he was saying, God bless America. Wait a minute. I got to find you now, Afro Man. You're not getting away from me. Here he is. Get up there, Afro Man. So, anyway, here's after he got out of the courthouse and won.
Yeah, we did it, America. Yeah, we did it. Freedom of speech. Right on. Yeah, God bless America. Yeah, power to the people. Yeah.
Hey, he's got the patriotic stuff on. You can't beat that with a stick. I just wish they wouldn't have nasty videos, but that's the way the world is turning right now at this time. So anyway, I'm going to play you this video. Here's going to be Mark Halperin is going to make a prediction on who's going to be the Democrat nominee for 2028. The Dems are getting desperate. But I think it's funny. And, it's not rolling on the floor funny, but think about it. Who do they have? And that's what I meant the end of. The end is near once we get voter ID. Just like we were told on the 17th letter, it will be the end of the Democrat Party. But anyway, put in the comments before he says, who do you think is going to be his pick to be the Democrat nominee for President of the United States? You got a couple minutes to put it in the chats. And if you're watching after the live stream, put it in the comments. If you made a mistake, maybe you'll be right. I don't know. Time will tell. So anyway, folks, I should be going live tomorrow night. If you're subscribed, you'll know when I go live. So make sure you do that. And what do I always say? Before I play this video, I always say to you all, thank you for spending your precious time with me. I really appreciate it. And I hope you enjoyed our little get-together tonight. Let me know who you think will be the Dems' The Democrats will nominate Afro Man, Stephen says. J.D. Vance, no, the Democrats, Steve, the Democrats. And I don't think Afro Man would want to be a Democrat. He's wearing the American flag all over his bodacious bald, as we used to say, and on his glasses. So no, I don't think he would be a Democrat. So anyway, I hope you all enjoy this clip. I'll put another link for Buy Me a Coffee in the chats on the way out. And thank you all for helping me out on Buy Me a Coffee. I will put up a boom for everybody about that. So enjoy this clip. You all have a great night. This is Mountain Man, over and out.
Yeah, it's funny. Also, thing I'm hearing from Democratic consultants and activists is no women. I've heard from multiple Democrats saying we are not voting for a woman this time.
Right. So
Like
you
more
hear
than
no
one.
women, you hear no Jew, you hear no gay, you hear no non-white. So that doesn't leave a lot of people. That leaves Gavin Newsom and Andy Bashir for the most part.
I do not believe that Josh Shapiro conversation happened where they accused him of being or asked him if he was an agent for Israel. I don't believe that happened whatsoever.
I mean, I don't know. I'm agnostic on that, but I just don't think that specific or the general question of whether he makes stuff up are very big problems compared to most of the other candidates.
Well, yeah, that's true. Okay, so if you had your ranking now, who is the top person who is leading the field? The weak field, mind you, but the leading the field.
I think Newsom and Shapiro are head and shoulders above everyone else, but I don't think Newsom's going to make it to the starting line in the end. And I think Shapiro has massive flaws. But I also don't believe in this white knight theory that somebody surprising is going to come through. So my current bet is it's going to be Buttigieg, as implausible as that is. But until they prove either they're not running or they're weak, I think it'd be either Newsom or Shapiro.
I literally gasped. That is a hot take. If you could compare this field as a student of history, compare this field to any other previous primary, which one would it be? Is this like 2004, 2000 and I don't even know, 1992?
2004 was a pretty weak field, but I think this is currently the weakest field.